No one move it. The cub lay on the deck plates, small enough to fit inside a standard cargo crate. Its fur matted so dark with blood that it was impossible to tell where the wounds ended and the body began. The blood wasn't all its own. Every sensor in the corridor confirmed that. Some of it belonged to something else, something much larger. The station's emergency lights cast red shadows over the scene, and every non-human present had taken at least 3 steps back. Because the cub wasn't just injured, it was Vorakai, a predator species so aggressive that most civilized systems classified them as encounter and withdraw. Their adults were walking weapons. Their young, unpredictable bundles of claws, venom glands, and instinctive violence. And this one was still breathing. Seal the corridor, hissed Administrator Trelk, his frilled neck pulsing with stress. If it regains consciousness, it's a baby, said a calm human voice. All eyes turned. Staff Sergeant Mara Holt stood near the doorway, helmet tucked under one arm, sleeves rolled up like she was about to do maintenance, not handle a galaxy-listed death species. Her expression didn't change when the cub twitched. It bit through a karoth. Security drone, someone whispered. Mara glanced down. Yeah, babies do that. The medical staff stared at her. You cannot touch it, Dr. Sesh insisted, claws trembling as he gestured with a scanner. Vorakai juveniles carry neurotoxic saliva. Even contact with the fur is dangerous. Mara finished, already crouching. I know. She reached out anyway. The cub growled weakly, a sound like wet gravel, its small jaws snapping blindly. Its claws scraped the deck, leaving sparks. Mara wrapped her hands firmly around its scruff and shoulders, lifting it with practiced ease. Several beings screamed. She's insane, muttered Trelk. She's dead. The cub thrashed, smearing fresh blood onto her uniform. Mara didn't flinch. Easy, kid, she murmured, voice low. You already won. Fight's over? The Vorakai cub froze. Its head lolled slightly, eyes fluttering half-open. It didn't understand the words, but it understood the tone. Predators always did. Mara stood and headed down the corridor. Where are you taking it? Dr. Sesh demanded, scrambling after her at a safe distance. To clean it, Mara said. To what? She stopped at a small utility room used mostly by station janitorial staff. Inside was a stainless steel industrial sink, a hose attachment, and shelves of basic cleaning supplies. Mara gently set the cub into the basin. The moment she turned on the water, the room erupted. That's contaminated fluid. Trelk shouted. The blood could aerosolize. The cub could regain consciousness. Vorakai are hydrophobic predators. Cold water splashed over the cub. Dark red washed down the drain in thick rivulets. Mara adjusted the pressure, one hand steadying the cub, the other working carefully through the clotted fur. She treated it like she was washing mud off a stray dog. Relax, she said. I've cleaned worse. The cub whimpered. The sound froze the room. Vorakai were not known to vocalize pain as infants. They were bred evolved to hide weakness. Mara immediately softened her grip. Hey! 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 I gotcha. She lowered the water temperature slightly. Not hurting you. Just gotta see where you're bleeding from. She rinsed until the blood thinned enough to reveal the truth. The cub's fur was mostly intact. The blood covering it came from the raider it had killed, a full-grown station pirate. Armored. The cub itself had only 2 injuries, a shallow burn along its flank and a cracked claw. That's it, Dr. Sesh whispered. Mara nodded. Tough little monster. The cub blinked up at her. For a moment, everyone expected it to bite her face off. Instead, it pressed weakly into her palm. The room went silent. That is imprinting behavior, Sesh said faintly. Mara frowned. Imprinting. The cub let out a tiny rumbling sound, not a growl. Something closer to comfort. Oh. Mara said quietly. That's not good. Sergeant, Trelk said carefully, you need to put it down. Immediately. Before it associates you as... Mara shut off the water. She lifted the cub, wrapping it in a clean towel without hesitation. The cub didn't resist. It tucked its head against her chest, claws catching harmlessly on fabric. Too late, Mara said. It already did. The station council convened within the hour. Holograms flickered as representatives from 3 systems argued over what to do. The Vorakai Dominion will interpret this as theft, one said. If the cub survives, it could become a biological weapon, another argued. Humans should not be allowed near it, a third insisted. Mara stood at the back of the chamber, arms crossed, the cub asleep in a carrier beside her. You're overreacting, she said finally. Every delegate turned. You found it alone, she continued, bleeding, in a raided corridor. Its parents are dead or gone. You can either let it die slowly, or let someone take responsibility. You are a soldier, Trelk snapped, not a handler. Mara met his gaze. I'm a Marine, she said. We don't leave wounded behind. That thing killed a man. So have I. Silence. The cub stirred, releasing a tiny puff of warm breath. Dr. Seshk cleared his throat. For the record, Vorakai young raised outside their war clans demonstrate reduced aggression, increased loyalty to their caregivers. The chamber buzzed. Mara looked down at the carrier. Well, she said. Guess that explains it. Weeks later, the cub officially designated subject V-117 had a name. Sink. Because that was where it bonded. The name spread through the station like a joke no one quite dared to laugh at. Sink followed Mara everywhere. It grew fast. Vorakai always did. Its claws sharpened, its muscles thickened, its eyes gained that unmistakable predator intelligence. But it never bit Mara. Never growled at her. Never challenged her authority. When pirates boarded the station again months later, they didn't make it past Cargo Bay C. Security footage showed Sink standing protectively in front of Mara, blood splattering the floor as it defended her with terrifying efficiency. When it was over, Mara simply crouched, wiped the blood from its face with her sleeve, and said, Good job, let's get you cleaned up. And Sink followed her back to the sink, like it always did.